know how to build these cathedrals anymore with all the tech we have. And they tell us they built them with donkeys 600 years.
Yeah. No, dude, you know that everyone you went to school with, everyone you go to work with, everyone in your family believes Egyptians had less technology than Aiden Ross. That's how stupid mankind is. They can't even make a pyramid today, but they had less tools than us. How the fuck did they make the pyramid, you retard? Like, they had acoustic technology. They had floating fucking magnetic... Bro. They even preserved teeth better. They had hair at 70 years old. They had better fucking bodies. They were taller. It's like such fucking retard shit when people think evolution, we're the best we've ever been. You're fat, broke, bald, and dying. How are you better than the Egyptians? You're fat, balding, and ugly. Okay? How the fuck are you? How do you have better technology than them? Are you fucking stupid because of an iPhone? And you have random anxiety and depression that humans never had before. Like in ancient times, there's no such thing as that. You just fucking have a conversation, bro. And people are like, well, aren't we the most intelligent? Yeah, because we replaced clairvoyance for intelligent. Clairvoyance is psychic ability to understand each other. They didn't talk as much. Now, your parents yap into a divorce. Whoa, that's really intelligent. 70% divorce rate is really intelligent. Bro, you fucking stupid, man. Like, clearly the beginning of history had all the good technology. Now we have garbage. That's why you guys eat healthy and still are constipated. Right? You think the Egyptians were constipated, bro? You think they had GMOs in their food and shit? That's why you guys drink water all day and you're still thirsty. You drink water all day and your piss is still not clear. You're not healthy, bro. You just think you are because you drank a lot of water. Like, you're still dehydrated. You can't do it, bro. You still have a sodium problem. You have so many issues that you can't solve, and you think you solved them, but usually you solve them for other problems with other medications, and it's like, you're so stupid, bro. Like, a lot of you guys think,
Slumdog donated $5. So you're taking the Anunnaki pill?
No, never. The history goes like this. Sumeria, Atlantis falls. Plato talked about this, right? Then it's Egypt. Egypt has good kings for spiritual practices, then they fall into the most perverted. And then Babylon, and then you have Greco-Roman and Christianity next. That's the history according to all occultists worth their salt. And they say that Atlanteans, so basically here's how our bodies are formed. This is not correct, but I'll just give you an example. Your skeletal system is formed by, let's say, the moon. Saturn controls just the blood vessels. So at one point you were just fucking blood vessels developing through the evolutionary track. So evolution's different. Humans didn't come from apes. Apes came after humans. This is what occultists talk about, even Blavatsky. Humans came first, and apes are the retarded humans that evolved in the wrong direction. So she says evolution's just backwards. It's real, but it's backwards. It's not from ape to man, man to ape. Also, the Sphinx. Does anyone know what the Sphinx means? I read a shit ton of books, and the meaning is actually fucking too hard for you guys to understand. Because if I say it, you're gonna actually be blown away. Do you guys know what the Sphinx is, or why even in ancient Mesopotamia they had figures like this, half animal, half man? but the blacks are animals. I'm kidding. Egyptians were black. I don't care about that shit. Okay, basically from all the books I've read, they go into heavy detail of how the Sphinx is reminding man that they evolved from an animal state consciousness to the next level. So they're going up in the spiritual evolutionary pyramid, and that human intellect, I swear to God, Steiner says this, came from the horse. So when man came out of horse, there's certain animals, eagle, lion, there's certain symbols. Fucking wild.
Slumdog donated $5. It was lion for the constellation Leo, then it go changed after a great reset.
Yeah, so basically they're saying the humans who have the worst karma, they are born, and I don't want to talk about like mentally ill men, because you can go that way with this, I think. But basically humans with the worst karma cycles would reincarnate as chimpanzees in a group soul. So basically a tiger doesn't have a tiger cannot know I. It doesn't look in the mirror and know I. A tiger has a group soul. So all tigers are one soul. And basically that's like a trap. That's a reincarnation trap. And very abused. You know, like animals get very abused there. So yeah. Basically the Egyptians were talking about how the animal nature evolved. So it started off as minerals, then plants and vegetation, then animals, which animals is ruled by the moon, right? Whereas vegetation was the sun that they talk about. There's vegetative souls in the fucking solar gate through the sun. And I'm like, what the fuck? How can a plant soul? What the fuck? But apparently plants have souls. They're just less developed souls. And so do like rocks and minerals. And before the rocks and minerals will be the gaseous swirlies in the atmosphere who are still invisible. They haven't materialized into they say the lowest level, but it's really the newest levels of this material body and stuff. And that everything, even this iPhone is moving, it's vibrating, it's a frequency, so it's sound, but it's crystallized. And what crystallizes it is certain cosmic alignments. So let's just go to Rudolf Steiner's work. This is interesting stuff. And Rudolf Steiner says old Saturn, the sun, and the moon were one. They were all one. So the moon, the sun, and Saturn split into three. But they used to be a super, think of a snow globe, the flat Earth geocentric model, right? But yeah, and I'm pretty sure Saturn was. Fuck was it, man? Oh my god, dude! I didn't. This all January, and it's like so hazy for me, right? Steiner's the hardest to take notes on. His work is. None of my students even do Steiner. They're like, this is too Rosicrucian for me, bro. Like, it's obviously the highest intellects can be, because he does a 12-hour presentation. Well, one audiobook is 12 hours, and it's slow. It's not like 90p Hall. It's really. Here, I'll show you. Let's see, Rudolf Steiner picture. Oh, I think he's a 7 life path, right? Rudolf Steiner. Let's try picture. No, diagram. Yeah. So, spirit body, life body, spirit self. He talks about all this in great detail. Consciousness, soul, intellectual soul, soul body, sentient body, life body, the physical body, and they're all, each development of the soul is a different planet. Yeah. And he even says humans are so material based that if they want wings to fly, they build it like an airplane. Right? But in the olden days, everyone would just believe they have wings. And if the whole world believes it, that matrix changes, and then humans then can fly, or they used to be giants. Or one thing that's interesting is, do you guys know that conspiracy that mountains are trees? I love that conspiracy more than everything, and this genius, 007 Light Path and Mystic, he literally says mountains are trees. Like, the conspiracy comes from this guy, but it's kind of big, a little ridiculous now. So it's like gnosis, logicism, voluntarism, empiricism, mysticism, transcendentalism, occultism. This shit's really tough though. All I know is if I repackage this for a big fat YouTube video, I can easily get like 10 million hits on YouTube easily, but probably take me a year because his alignments are retarded. I'll show you. Rudolf Steiner, look what he says about Saturn. He has a really good quotes too. Rudolf Steiner, Saturn. It's really hard, I know.
Adjustment between good and evil in the world. The spectacle of the good on the one side and of the evil on the other stood before him in dire and often terrible contrast. With this impression, the soul passed through the gate of death, and subsequently through less important earthly lives. But the experiences of the Greco-Roman...
So he's the one who said no one understands the Bible, and that Christ is a mystical fact, and that the Christ impulse is the world soul. So he's like very pro-Christianity, even though he's a reincarnation guy now. Mixes the honey with the weird. But he's the only one to say that people don't understand what kind of a serpent Satan was. That he's a human skull with a vertebrae. That's how Satan came down the tree, just a skull and the vertebrae. It's very creepy, right? Now you see how it's fucking connected to you, right? Like that kind of spinal column is infected with. They also talk about, I forgot who it was. I don't know, was it Steiner? He talks about Lucifer being still in God's. He like does God's bidding. If you need Luciferian. And he says you need Luciferian energy to sin, to go out and get a girlfriend and then make her a wife. So you don't go full on the Luciferian energy, but to do stupid shit, to sin, you need that drive, and that's what Lucifer's for. So you use him as like a little spray to get your car, or like 10% of your gas. But some people go too far that way, and then there's restrictive energy Satan that you use to like stay home and not do stupid shit. But some people freeze and get depressed staying home, so they use too much of that energy. And then it talks about that. And some Christians like it because they say like, how can the devil defy God? He'd still be doing God's will because it's God. I don't know how much I like it, but I just know it aligned with all the Masons and what they say. Steiner's the only occultist that is the most pro-Christ you'll ever see, right? But he also mixes the old pantheon of gods and says that before Christ they had Christ in a different way, and that those guys will be a part of that too. So he kind of adds all the religions together, but he keeps Christ as the king and everything else kind of like little signs and shit that is coming.
Incarnation had engraved deep furrows in the life of soul, and it was these experiences which, as the 18th century approached, were elaborated and wrought out in the Saturn sphere into the subsequent karma of this individuality. The Saturn sphere has a deep and incisive effect upon the shaping of karma. Whenever it is a case of laying hold of the human soul in its very depths, and of developing radical potent forces from these depths, the Saturn sphere works in such a way that the forces will penetrate deeply, very deeply, into the physical organization. Everything that happens in the Saturn sphere is intrinsically and essentially spiritual, but also takes far deeper effect when a human being descends to earthly embodiment. The result is a physical organization which strives for a balancing out of the experiences undergone by the soul in an earlier earthly life. The element of
It's all reincarnation. Everything he talks about. Seven gates you pass through. Fuck, I wish I had my notes on this, bro. It's in the other house. Yeah, it aligns a lot with this guy. Do you guys know him? Robert Gilbert?
Everything has to do with the meaning of human life. And the thing that makes life worthwhile to us is contained within the metaphysical.
This guy doesn't like to admit it, but I've talked to him. I'm viral, bitch! I actually recorded a call. It's so scratchy audio. I've talked to him, and this guy will never admit it, but he is CIA. But he says he's from just the military. That's his old life. And I don't know if you've seen his work, but he studies sacred geometry and everything occult.
It has to do with the meaning of human life. And the thing that makes life worthwhile to us is contained within the metaphysical.
Oops.
And so everything to do with our thinking, our emotions, our actions in the world, whether or not our lives become something that is greatly beneficial to ourselves and others, or something where we're just caught in an endless trap of suffering, is really linked to this metaphysical level.
Genius. I can't find his birthday though. Someone find me his birthday.
Where most people start out in life basically having a type of programming of their external environment, of the way things are. And that's our culture, our family, the religion we're brought up in. And it gives us a particular paradigm that we operate under. And we tend to operate in a fairly unconscious way under that paradigm until we go through a state of internal awakening where we realize that we're not really fully conscious. We're not making fully conscious decisions. We're not really aware of what's playing out through us in our thought, our speech, and our action. And so then we get to the place that we begin to be aware that we can actually wake ourselves up to a higher level. We can be more conscious, and we can stop creating the destructive effects that we have in our relationships and other parts of our life by finding a way that we can get beyond what's often referred to as the reactive mind, the part of us that's just purely in reaction to things externally and is not fully conscious. So that initial observation is something that you find in all the classical spiritual traditions, where you find that
yeah, he's a beast manifestor too. He made a bunch of money, like, yeah. And I'll tell you this, bro, like, I don't think he's a scammer at all, bro. Like, his prices make sense, man.
Buddhism, they talk about developing mindfulness. So you start being able to observe yourself in an objective way, not making excuses for what you're doing, but see it objectively. And in things like the work of the Russian philosopher Gurdjieff, where he talks about the practice of waking up, because we're normally semi-conscious, we can wake up and we can begin to remember ourselves and to go through.
Yeah, it goes into the macro, micro, cosmic kind of theory, and pretty much those guys who say, you know, God is dreaming and we're the dream in every infinite angle it could happen. It goes into that stuff. Not satanic, but not too biblical either. So I guess it's not anti-Christ, but it's not for Christ really. Even though they talk good about Christ, I don't know. Still, it feeds me though. You know, like I eat up all this kind of content because I like seeing all the different points of views, because I find Christians some of the dumbest motherfuckers I've ever met. Like a Christian who doesn't know anything about Buddha, to me, is a fucking retard. Like, 'cause that means you're a Christian because your parents, you didn't even read it. Or it's like a Muslim. A Muslim's only a Muslim because his parents are Muslims. He's never actually opened up the Bible. The scariest thing you do as a Muslim is open the Bible, because, right? Yeah, people who follow their parents' religion are fucking faggots, bro. They're literally faggots. Faggot energy. You gotta follow what's the truth. Yeah, I'll wrap it up here, bro. I'm actually just put on an audiobook and doze off before I get... All this yapping energy comes from being horned up, bro. What am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to wake up early. Fuck. Isn't Saturn worship a symbol of a cult? Yeah, but he's talking about Saturn as being a gate. Mars is a gate. Jupiter is a gate. He's not really talking about the gate. He's just saying that that's the last gate. The gate of death. Which is weird, because that means, like, the Jays worship the gate of death, right? Holy shit, I'm not... I can yap, man. What the fuck are we laughing about for that long? money. Andrew Tate's the base guy.